Hi, I'm Anna. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Anna.
Yeah.
Um, Hi. So thanks for having me speak, Maria. It's nice to see you in a meeting digitally. That's super cool. But yeah, so I guess some stats. My sobriety date is July 13th, 2019. I have a sponsor who has a sponsor who has a sponsor, and so on and so forth. I have service commitments, both in New York and in Missouri still. And yeah, so I guess I'll just kind of do a brief version of what happened and what it's like now. And so for me, I originally got sober in 2016 when I went to treatment. And I felt the positive effects of the program almost immediately as soon as I started working the steps and kind of got thrown into the program and was surrounding myself with good people with really good sobriety. I caught on really quickly. And it was kind of a whirlwind, and that lasted me for almost 3 years. But what ended up happening was I got complacent. And so for about a year, I stopped going to meetings. I kind of disconnected from my fellows and was so focused on school and work and things that I had because of the program, kind of forgetting that I only had them because of the program. So I focused solely on that and put my program to the side, and it led me to a relapse. It, without me planning it or anything, it was just very, very kind of sudden and off the cuff, which kind of proves to me still that, if I don't have this program, I don't have that defense against the first drink. I spent the first 2 years of my sobriety building a thick buffer between me and that first drink. I worked really hard to work the steps and be around people and build the safety net and have good people in my life to, build a protection wall, so to speak, between me and that drink. But what I don't want to say what no one told me was, but what I was very scarcely reminded of is the longer you stay away, the smaller that buffer becomes. The easier it is to hop over that wall. And so when I relapsed, I remember it very vividly, just standing in my kitchen, and all of a sudden I had a drink in my hand and drank. And it was kind of this moment of like, what the heck just happened? Like, I almost like immediately dropped the drink to the ground, but I didn't really want to break glass. So I escaped that. But it was very alarming. I didn't see it coming. I'm sure my fellows probably could have said they saw it coming, or, saw that I was headed down that path. And, I didn't want to relapse. I really enjoyed my life. I was happy. I was doing well. I had just graduated college. I just traveled overseas. Like, I was living a really good life, but I got so caught up in the good life that I got from the program that I forgot why I had that good life. And so after I relapsed, I kind of immediately started beating myself up for it, and immediately went down this wormhole of sobriety's not worth it. I can't do it, blah, 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 blah. And so I was like, well, I already ruined my sobriety date. I might as well go back out. And so I went out for 2 whole days, which, if that's any indication that I'm an alcoholic, that things got bad in just 2 days. Like, it didn't take that long. And I remember on July 13th of this year, I was doing a photo shoot in the Missouri heat. It was like 98 degrees with humidity, and I was like stranded in a sunflower field basically, and I was hungover and felt so sick. And I was reminded that this is why I stopped drinking. I don't want to feel this way ever again. It's hindering my work, and I feel terrible, and I'm not going to be successful and, move to the city of my dreams if I keep doing this. So luckily right after that shoot, I went to a meeting and kind of restarted my journey on sobriety, I guess a new chapter of the journey. And, I went to 90 meetings in 90 days, even when I moved to New York on day, I think it was like day 70 or 60, which was like a terrible idea, honestly, in hindsight. But, even then I continued my 90 and 90. I found a sponsor almost immediately, and I started working the steps almost immediately. And I found that drive to keep doing the program and be able to continue the life I'm so fortunate to have from this program. And I think I needed that relapse to have that very fresh reminder of how quickly it can all be taken away. And it hasn't been easy this time. I'm in a new city. I don't have as many friends in this city. Everyone's very spread out here. And it's been really tough. My job is tough. I have a lot of physical health problems that are getting worse. And so it's tough to balance all that. And so there definitely have been times where it doesn't feel worth it. But then I continually remember that day in July in the heat. And, I allow myself to sit in that feeling that I felt that morning. And with that, and by talking to, my support network and my sponsor, and reading out of the big book or out of daily reflections or whatever literature you want, and just constantly reminding myself that I need this program. Otherwise, I'm not going to make it. It feels like I might not make it, but without this program, I for sure won't make it. And I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned this year, in this new chapter in this new city. And I'm very, very grateful for this program and what it's taught me and everything it's given me. And I wouldn't be here without it. But that's really all I have. I have no concept of time, so that was probably shorter than 15 minutes. But I'm really excited to hear what everyone else has to say.